Hi guys, it's Natalie here. I did say during the part one of Outside Adornment that I was going to do a part two. So here I am with my part two. Just to do a quick recap, I was actually reading from First Peter chapter 3, verse 1 to 7. So with that, I was just summarizing what I believe this scripture is saying to us as women and as wives. So, with that, I kind of pointed out a few things for us to kind of ponder about and just to think about regarding your life. And then I said I was just going to give like a brief kind of outline in regards to just my journey in my life and where I am now, because by no means have I arrived, but I know that I am on my way because I have that hunger and that eagerness to know God and to know His heart. So, just to recap on this scripture, I'm just going to read it again in full. So it says, wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives, when they see the purity and the reverence of your lives. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. For this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. They submitted themselves to their own husbands, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord. You are her daughters if you do what is right and do not give way to fear. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. Now, like I said in the previous video, I came across this because just something on my mind, and I was thinking adornment. And I have the Bible app, so I just typed it in the Bible app, and the scripture came up. And then just reading it, it just kind of summarized a whole bunch of stuff. And I know that I touched a bit on the last episode in regards to wives and husbands, which of course it's talking about here, but I think that for this part, I will remain on this outside adornment, and I think I will do like a speciality version in regards to marriage and wives and what I believe God is trying to communicate with us. This is in no way, preaching to or teaching. This is basically me taking you on a journey as I am on a journey, and just making people out there just really ponder and just think about what does God want me to do in this life? Because sometimes we can wander around and think, why am I here? What am I doing with my life? Am I walking in my purpose, in my God-given talents, or am I just going day by day doing the mundane routine and not really questioning these things about life? So my background really was very career driven. I was very career driven. I was very much focused on getting not only a degree, but just getting to the top of the career ladder. And I wasn't too interested in anything else, to be honest. I didn't have this kind of, for example, as a child, I didn't like plan my wedding. Then it was more of a thing that I was thinking, when I grow up, I want to be this. How can I become this? If I start early, then it'll give me a head start amongst my peers. Now, at the moment, I'm 32. But I have experienced a lot even in this short time. So throughout my 20s, I was just moving and traveling around. Like I said, I thought that if I could go this place, if I could go that place, and try and achieve my goals and climb aimlessly up the ladder, I'll be not only rich, because I don't think money was my drive. I think it was more status. So I was really wanting to be approved by my friends. I wanted to drive a nice car. I wanted to have the nice shoes. I wanted to have the nice clothes. And Yeah, and to be honest, I felt like that these things will validate me. So when people would see me, they'd be like, "Oh wow, look at her shoes." I was always thinking about what people would think of me, and I think that was one of the issues I had. Was I considered people's opinions of me higher than what God thought about me. Now, if you notice, it says in this scripture that I just read, it says rather it should be that of your inner self. So that's from verse 4. For anyone who doesn't know, First Peter chapter 3, I'm reading from verse 4 now. Rather it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. So that was something I was missing, because when I would go to church, I've always been going to church. To be honest, like growing up as a child, we would pray at home, and then when I reached the age of, I think was it 16, I started going to church every Sundays. Now, I don't remember this being preached to me. And if it was preached, I think that it was a thing where people kind of dismissed it, saying, well, it's not really about that, because that was back in the olden days, because the women back in the older days dressed extravagant. So if the women in the older days dressed extravagant, I don't know what's happening right now, because I I think that there is no like, oh no, this is for them, this is not for you, you're fine type of thing. Anything that focuses on self, and anything that promote self, make yourself look good, wanting people to promote you, to give you compliments, this, that, on the other, those are very me-centric. And if you remember in the Bible, it says it'll be a world that'll be obsessed with self. And we already have these selfies, if those are just little like crumbs to just show us this is the direction what the world is going to, and the prophecies in the Bible are coming to pass. But us as Christians, as are we actually noticing these things? Are we noticing the changes that's happening? And are we preparing ourselves as well? Or are we just kind of blending in with the crowd because it is easiest, instead of going against the tide? But then ask yourself this: if you go with the tide, what will happen when you get to God? And he says to you, I do not know you, depart from me. And that's for eternity. It says here, we are here temporarily. This is just our earthly beings, our tents, and when you think about tents, these are things that you won't stay here for long type of thing. So if we kind of move that mentality into thinking we're not staying in here for long, this is temporary, then our minds would change into something that, what would last, What's gonna last in us? What's gonna take us to the long haul? What can never disappear? What can people kind of see you with that no one can take away, right? Not even time, And that's your soul, that's your spirit, that's who you are, what makes you, not your outside appearance. And I really wanted to stress that, because throughout my whole 20s, that's what I was going by. I was waiting for people to compliment me when I put makeup. I was waiting for people to compliment me when I had hair extensions in my hair. It's almost like I didn't care what God thought. I almost thought that God was a father that didn't understand how it was nowadays. This, but like just being hitting me now is that, what, like, it's not worth it. It's legit not worth it. And to be honest, it only came to me during the whole lockdown, and God came to me in a dream. And the whole message of the dream that I had was, why are you hiding your hair like something is wrong? Now, I don't know who you may be, or what journey you've come through, or what you may be hiding. For you may not be hair, for you might be makeup, for you might be like wanting to make sure that everyone knows that you have a great figure. But ask yourself this: in 40 years time or 50 years time, is anybody gonna care what you were wearing, what you looked like? No. Because you're just going to look and you're going to show a picture and they're going to be like, wow, yeah, you look like a model. But do you look like that now? No, so nobody cares. It was the same thing of me thinking now about careers. You're there striving for your career. Yes, it'll gain you money, but what exactly are you sacrificing in return for that. Because once you retire, no one's going to care that you were a head surgeon to a huge hospital and you did this and you did that. More people are going to care about who have you touched, whose life have you changed, who have you blessed, who have you encouraged. People, they have this saying where people won't remember what you did, but they remember how you made them feel. And I think it's Maya Angelou, to be honest. But it was just an interesting quote. Not that I kind of watch a lot of other quotes, but that was an interesting quote because it's true. If you ask yourself right now, can you remember what someone did 5 years ago? But can you remember how that person made you feel? Those are the things that stay with you. That's how we could harbor bitter feelings or happy feelings, good memories, bad memories. So, in turn, everything has an effect, but I feel like I believe the feelings are the most important. Um, I didn't want to make this podcast too long, just kind of a snippet and just give you an insight of myself. I hope to talk more about my journey and how I've come to this place. I'll talk more about my travels, me traveling throughout my 20s, the countries I went to, the people I've come across. But yeah, just join this journey with me and learn with me because I'm still learning. Comment if you got something to share as well. I'm open to learn. I like learning. So yeah, until next time, guys, take care.